Hello, Luc here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode. Now on with the show.
Hey, kids. It's Chuck from the Nostalgia Killers, and today's word of the day is bicycle. That's right. When you hear the word bicycle, you know what to do. Scream real loud. Now, on with the podcast. Red frame, hypno rims underneath, scoop fenders, the loudest horn on the street. Whoa, white walls, yeah, those tires are meats. CB intercom and an ejectable seat, tassels. Come off if I need, while my tiger siren stares, baring its teeth, tell Dottie if she's looking for me, that I'm a rebel loner and she ain't my fucking owner, no. I know you are, I know you are, I know you are, but what am I? I don't make monkeys, never make monkeys. I don't make monkeys, I just train them.
Nice.
Oh.
That was awesome.
I could never.
Yeah, that was a hard note. That was one where I was like...
You hit the high note, too.
I know, so I was like, in the bathroom, I was like, you can do it. You can hit the high note. Welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. As always, I am the one and only Chuck Starzensky, joined generally by Javier Martinez.
I'm excited to be back and still surprised that I'm allowed to be back.
The always faithful, the incorrigible Taylor Diffenderfer.
Hello.
And for the first time ever, I am so sorry.
Terrible host.
It's a hard one, so okay. I'll let you have it. Hi, everyone. I'm Magalli, Larque. Government name, Tonantzin, Magalli, Larque. So I would have never expected you to get that on the first try.
You know what? Sometimes, you need 2 takes.
Yeah.
Well, tonight, in honor of the late, great Paul Rubens, we watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Warner Brothers is proud to present the story of a guy
Good morning. I'm here.
and his bike
James Bond kind of stuff.
together for the first time in their first big movie.
I meant to do that. I say we kill it. Yeah! I say we let him go. Merry Christmas!
Pee-wee Herman is Pee-wee Herman.
Hello!
In Pee-wee's Big Adventure,
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent ya. What?
For a log line today, I've got Pee-wee Herman travels across country to find his stolen bicycle. Sorry. It's the word of the day. The word of the day is bicycle.
Oh God, we're gonna have to stay away from our mics when we do that.
No, it's okay. I swear, every time we say bicycle, I'll just take the levels down. It's gonna be great.
I love it.
I'm gonna have so much fun editing this.
Oh gosh.
I don't know who wants to kick things off. Javier, what was your personal nostalgic attachment to this movie?
So I never saw Pee-wee's, like the show, right? Pee-wee's Playhouse, until it was being aired on Adult Swim, which was what, like 05 or 06, I think it was, something like that. So I was like in high school or something. And I just cranked through those episodes. There's only like 40 something, right? And I was like, oh, wish there was more. And I think I had like on demand at the time. So, I looked it up. Oh, there's a movie. I'm going to watch the movie, even though the movie came out first, right? But I saw it after I'd seen, the entire show. And yeah, I loved it. It just, it really resonated at that time of my life. I was like kind of, figuring out who I was. And like, I was just barely starting to like be okay with like, what, like, it's okay to like be weird. And like, I don't have to like be cool or everything, and it was just seeing this grown, man child just be kooky and zany, just it struck a chord for me. So still to this day, I'll just randomly watch episodes when pull it. Oh, what should I watch? I don't have anything to watch, and I'll pull it up. So yeah.
I love this movie. My childhood is all just one big blur, but Pee Wee Herman was a part of that blur, and I'm very thankful. I remember watching Pee Wee's Playhouse with my brother growing up, and Big Adventure. And yeah, just especially like for me and my brother's such a freaking weirdo. Sorry, Devin, but you are. And like watching Pee Wee was just, he like gave us permission to just like fully be weirdos and like, be as creative as humanly possible. And, I'm still trying to do that. Thanks, Pee Wee.
I think for me, it was like the same. Like my childhood was like a blur, but like Pee Wee, I remember. And I used to watch the movie all the time. Like I think I wore out the VHS watching it all the time. And then it's been years since I've seen it. So then I saw it again last night and I was like, oh my God, this brings back so many memories of just like wanting to live like where he lived. And it was so much fun, and like wanting a dog because he had a dog. But then I remember when I was younger watching Pee Wee, and then at the same time, like at a really young age, I loved the movie Blow with Johnny Depp, and he's in it. I was like, that's Pee Wee? Like he plays a drug dealer? It's like, I live. I'm convinced that it's in the same universe. I'm like, Pee Wee really changed. But yeah, I'm like, and he backstabbed Johnny Depp. But I love Pee Wee growing up.
Yeah, I kind of got a hodgepodge of you and Javi. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to watch Pee Wee's Playhouse as a kid due to the whole public masturbating thing.
That's right.
It was like one of the rare occasions that I was shielded from something as a kid. It was like, oh, no, you can watch like all the blood and guts and all this you want. It's just like, that guy's a weirdo, though. Let's not watch that. So my first experience with Paul Rubens in general was actually Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He's like always been my favorite part of that movie, too. Just, hey. He's like, yeah, he's in a different movie. It's great. But yeah, I didn't get to experience Pee Wee till I was like a stoner in my late teens. That being said, I fell in love with Playhouse and Big Adventure instantly. I've seen this movie countless times now. Paul Rubens, rest in peace, has been a huge influence on me creatively. At least half of the films I've made wouldn't exist without my exposure to Pee Wee Herman. Definitely Nama Nama Let's Go. It's like literally our attempt at a depressed Pee Wee's Playhouse. In fact, Luc, who is unfortunately not here for the pod tonight, did an animated intro for the show. And his animated intro is a shot-for-shot homage to the Playhouse intro. Like, literally, like, you have one of our characters fly by when Terry would fly by and, like, all of that. Like, yeah.
That's so cool.
So much love to Mr. Rubens, Mr. Herman.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But on to happier notes. What's your guys' favorite scene?
I mean,
all of them.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
Yeah. All of them. The most memorable, well, whatever, one of them is the pet shop burning down.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to save all the animals. He's fainting with snakes in his hand. He keeps going in. Looks at the snakes. Every time he looks at the snakes, he's like, ooh. And then saves them. Saves the day. Way to go, Pee Wee.
I love that he instructs the chimp, too. He's like, you have to help me.
Yeah. He has, like, all the dogs sit. He's like, yeah.
I think my favorite scene is the opening scene, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, This is me driving down Petaluma Hill Road with all the bikers. And I would just wish I would see like Pee Wee like on his bike there too. But I think the opening scene is just like so iconic. And then, I mean, every scene too is so good. And then watching it again, I've seen like other movies like pull from that too. Like Jay and Silent Bob is like very like similar to that too. So it just kind of brought back like a few memories of like other movies that I really like. But yeah, every scene is so good.
I think for me, it's more of just kind of a consistent string of scenes throughout the film, which is just the concept of like adults as children, right? So if I had to pick one, for example, it's the bathtub scene where what's his name, Buxton, right? Something like that. Yeah. He's taking the shower.
Francis.
Francis,
Yeah.
Francis, yeah. And playing with the oversized battleship toys and doing the whole Godzilla thing. And you're right. Sorry, I said bathtub, but it's.
That I
it's
wish I
fucking cool.
had.
You're right.
I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, I wish I had
For
that.
sure. But just that whole, then trying to escape from Pee-wee under the water and like wherever, I don't know where you're going, but okay,
Yeah, I would say that's definitely my personal favorite too. I cheated. I said anytime Pee-wee gets a little testy, that's my favorite scene in the whole movie. Anytime he starts getting really sassy, like when he's interrogating Francis in the bath and like just fucking waterboarding him. Also, but I guess if you take that one, then I've got to have the town hall meeting for the bike theft.
Unhinged.
Yeah, where he's just unhinged. And he's like, Exhibit A, Exhibit. He gets like Exhibit Q, and like everyone's just like, dude, where is this going? It's like, I will tell you where it is going in an hour and a half. We're not there yet. That's where it's going. Like, you got anything to say for yourself? Amazing. Yeah. And then just so many like any super minute scene where he's pissed off and being a little sassy, like when he's about to get jumped in the rain. And it's like, hey, you shouldn't be walking down here, kid.
Well,
Let's need a couple more in really fast.
Go for it.
The breakfast, that is so memorable.
Yeah.
And the pancakes on the ceiling, like the big eating Mr. T.
Mr. T cereal.
With like his giant fork. That was like dream breakfast as a kid. I literally dreamt about it.
No, like I've been chasing that Mr. T cereal dragon my entire life. I remember having something kind of like it, like as far as like the actual like cereal itself, like a weird Mr. T meets like alphabet cereal. Never been able to quench that hunger.
I got another one that's, string of scenes, but anytime that, quote, quote, a character's body doesn't match their voice.
Oh, yeah.
Because they did that a couple times, so they'll have like the, petite woman and, hey, Pee-wee, da-da-da, and then you have the big muscular guy and like, hey, Pee-wee, They did that a couple times, but I don't know why. Every time I saw it got me laughing for some reason. It just really got me every time. I don't know. I know you, all the stop motion, Chuck, and the crazy, the little animated eyes and everything.
Something I loved when I watched it as a kid, or a stoned kid, a teenager. But something that I loved when I watched it, the first time was the animation and whatnot. But like on this rewatch, I was just like really paying attention to how many dream sequences there are.
Yeah.
That like some reason those just kind of maybe again it's just in the the cloud, like the haze, the fog of like sativas and indicas and all that fun stuff. But just like not remembering all of those individual dream sequences. They're all so fun and powerful. Like he's got a big thing for big old dinosaur fetish. It's great.
Yeah, and they're like so like Burton-esque too. So I'm like, okay, this is like taking me back. But that's kind of like
that's
how
where
my dreams are too. So I'm like, okay, we're dreaming the
that's
same
where
dream.
he's starting to get his style. Tim Burton. He's like, like, this is like the dreams are like, oh, okay, I get to do my weird kooky ooky shit.
Yeah, like the stop motion claymation kind of thing that you don't really see too much of anymore.
No, sadly. I feel like the rewatching it, the Large Marge scene is so Burton. Like he, like it's just perfectly him. It's such a great job. Yeah.
The garbage truck falling off the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Worst crash I ever saw.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Oh, and that transitions into Simone. I love Simone.
Oh, how can
I
you
know.
not? Yeah, she's lovely. Truly.
Au revoir, Pee-wee.
Au revoir, Pee-wee. Wants to go to Paris.
Paris, Texas.
Exactly. Paris by bus. That's my favorite. It's like she gets on the bus. I'm going to Paris.
I'm like, Paris, Texas? Is that where you're going? And it's like New York. I'm like, that's not where you're going.
Yeah. No, that diner scene's so good.
Oh, yeah.
With all the dinosaurs. Just, always wanted to go there.
Same. And chill in the mouth and watch the sunrise.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to do that? Yeah. It's such a dream.
Not get attacked by a bone later.
No. Yeah.
That was something I never caught until this viewing is literally he has a bone to pick with Pee-wee.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't pick that up until right now.
And then the last one, just to keep this thing moving for me personally is the drive-in movie ending where you get like I love any kind of like callback in anything ever. Like that's always my favorite bit of a stand-up, special or anything like that. It's like, oh, that's the joke they told at the beginning. Oh my God, we're bringing it home. Yeah. And so like, just getting to see literally almost every single character. Like,
Back there. The footlong wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. No, I love the drive-in scene. It's a perfect ending to this movie. Speaking of the footlong, the mattress tag man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah.
That just the concept, you know. You know those tags that say do not whatever cut off the under. Yeah.
You also get the vibe though that he's just like doesn't know Pee-wee and is like that's just the
That's
story
just what
he's
he's
telling
telling
him. Yeah,
him.
he's totally a murderer.
I like to believe that it's true.
I do too.
Right. Well, again, yeah, because he's like treating him like a child, right?
Yeah.
And he even tells him before he ditches him, he's like, it's too dangerous for your kid. Like, I don't want to bring you into this. So.
Well, he literally again the callbacks like he
Yeah.
literally reiterates the "I'm a loner, a rebel" speech to him. It's so good. You guys have any worse scenes? I don't really have any worse scenes. I got nitpicks personally.
There's no bad scene in this
No.
movie. I have like one nitpick, but I can just gush about every scene in this movie. Yeah. My only nitpick that I wrote down is so small, and it's during the dream sequence with the clown paramedics, and he has the surgeon, and then the surgeon takes off his mask, and he has like a clown smile. It's just like bad cheap makeup, and I wanted it to be a bigger reveal, and that's my only nitpick. It's just like I wish that the makeup when he took his mask off was like maybe not scarier, but like more interesting, you know? I'm like, you're not a clown.
Like in Batman when Joker takes off his
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
It's like Harvey Dent just
I
freezing.
wanted to be a little more like,
That's what you look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the only thing I had was just I felt like the Alamo tour scene runs a little long. I mean it was it's totally funny, but I felt like I didn't remember it going on for that long. I'm like, oh, we are actually sitting through the whole tour with him. Like, oh,
Yeah, we're suffering with him
Yeah,
as he's waiting
yeah.
to ask his question.
yeah, because it could have just just done like one or two bits and then cut to the end. But they they did like 3, 4, 5 different like, oh, okay, we're still doing this.
yeah.
She was just cooking, dude. She was like, I've got a fun fact
Right,
about
right.
her
They were
later, but
probably
yeah.
like, let's just let her roll.
Exactly.
She's killing this. Like,
Do we have any Mexican Americans?
Oh my God, yeah.
Buenos dias. And just like so like just
talk about all the different types of corn.
exactly. And if anyone's familiar, you can also make tortillas.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just so like
Chewing on a gun.
Holds up
yeah.
the tortilla. I think that was my scene too, just because I visited the Alamo when I was like younger with my mom, and I was like, oh
Nice.
my God, this is the most boring shit I've ever been to. And then I was like, oh, I'm still watching this. This is exactly like the tour. I'm convinced that
yeah?
that wasn't scripted at all. Like that's
Yeah.
exactly how it
Yeah.
was.
no, that's like it's like she is the embodiment of a white Texan.
Yeah.
That is it. Yeah.
There's no basement at the Alamo.
Everyone just starts laughing at him. Like, that's a genuine question. How dare you?
I love that, like a kid takes a photo of him too as he's being shamed. Like it's just like, yeah. I got 2 little nitpicks, but they're more like just weird personal nitpicks. Man, Dottie shouldn't be holding out for Pee-wee.
No. Dottie really can do
That
better.
girl gets done dirty in this movie.
Yeah. Just hopeless.
Exactly. Doesn't even really get her date. It's more like Dottie, like my movie's playing at the drive-in. You should come kind of thing.
No, she gets pied like the entire time. And then even at the drive-in, he's like taking his sweet ass time, like talking to every person. She just starts chilling. He finally comes back to her. He's like, let's leave. She's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then also like, it's like, did you get my candy, Pee-wee? And he's like, you wanted something? It's like, JK. And then he fucking has like a pocket of like gumdrops or some bullshit.
Just
like,
throws it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gave the biker kids like an entire tub of popcorn. Everybody like that he met at the biker bar where he does the tequila dance, like they each get an individual candy. Like, yeah. Now Dottie gets left holding the bag.
I like you, Dottie.
Like you. Yeah. And then my only other one is Francis should have gotten more of his comeuppance for having stolen the bike.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Spike.
Oh,
yeah.
that counts.
Not quite. Does it count?
Francis should have gotten more of his comeuppance for having stolen Pee-wee's bicycle.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
But yeah, that's it. It's just but I feel like that's just me. That's just me wanting to see like a rich child go down.
Yeah.
And by a rich child,
yeah.
I mean like a 30-year-old man.
It's my birthday, and my father says I can have anything I want.
Well, good for you and your father. Like again, he's just like being a sassy little. He's so good. That's the best.
That whole scene with them is fantastic.
But yeah, brings it on to our rainy day pairing. Yeah. What's a movie you guys would pair with Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
I didn't really put down anything for this. I feel like, in honor of Paul Rubens, just watch Pee-wee's Playhouse or the Christmas special if it's Christmas time, or, Big Top or Big Holiday, whatever. I know they don't really hold a candle to Big Adventure, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinions. But, just double feature it with more Pee-wee.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta say.
I just say, let's stick with the theme, right? We got our protagonist going on, a cross-country search for his, most valuable possession in the world that was stolen. So my rainy day pairing is Taken.
Oh, wow. I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that either.
Yeah, no joke. For some reason, that was the first thing that came to my head, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going with that." That's what I'm sticking with. So
I mean, it's the same emotional stakes. Let's be real.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
similar acting. It's right there. I would probably say mine is I know I said it earlier, but Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, just because it's such a similar storyline, but more. I mean, it came out a really long time ago, but a little bit more modern. And then I do love the ending scene where everybody from the entire movie comes back to watch them in the movie in real time.
Yeah.
And I love watching that. I like how it really set up from Pee-wee too.
Yeah, I wonder if that was actually
intentional?
Yeah, a Kevin Smith intentional, this is going to be an homage to Big Adventure.
Honestly, I think it was. I mean, there's the monkey, something got stolen.
That's true.
Jay and Silent Bob go to Universal and they're they jump in a movie, cause mayhem, and then at the end they watch the movie that they're in with everybody else that was in the movie.
Yeah, might have to look into that one.
Yeah, I was this is literally, it's literally just Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but with dick and fart jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
The rated R version.
Yeah.
So much is inspired by Pee-wee in general, but this movie, I mean, I think it's just, if you think it's safe to say it was.
Exactly. Yeah, for me, I had Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Nice.
Because this movie already feels like a live action cartoon.
Yeah.
And so it's got that same kind of duality too of the childish humor mixed in with the adult themes at the same time.
Totally. That's a really good, I like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was racking my brain on that one. I was like, what would I do? Because it was my initial thought was I'll just watch a season of Playhouse, dude.
Right, yeah. I see. That was my cop-out answer. But I might do that double feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Hell yeah. That brings us along to this movie's cocktail. Today, in honor of Mr. Rubens, we got a Reuben Fizz. 3/4 ounce of lemon and lime, 1/2 ounce of heavy cream, 1/2 ounce of blackberry syrup, 1/4 ounce of hibiscus water. Reverse dry shake, even though it's a pain in the ass, and let it rest while you look for your bicycle. Top with soda and enjoy. All right, time for our first ad break, everybody. Ad break! Woo! And we're back with Act 2, the evidence board. Trivia, making of, behind the scenes, and casting alternates. Released in 1985, which that blew me away. I was because when I saw this as a late teen, so I just assumed it was made in 94 or something like that. It just, way ahead of its time. But released in 1985. It cost $7 million, but brought home $40 million.
Woo!
So it was a runaway hit. Written by Phil Hartman, Paul Rubens, and Michael Varhol, I think is how you say that.
Yeah.
Directed by Tim Burton. It's Tim Burton's first feature.
That's what I thought.
Rubens handpicked him and hired him because he loved his short film Frankenweenie.
Yep.
Speaking of handpicks and firsts, it's also Danny Elfman's first studio film score, which when you get into the music. That's so fucking good. But he got the job because Rubens was a huge Oingo Boingo fan. Speaking of Oingo Boingo, the scene where Pee-wee tapes his nose up is a nod to The Forbidden Zone, which is a cult classic directed by Danny Elfman's brother. And also, you guys haven't seen that? Holy shit.
I haven't.
It's incredible. We will do that one day on the podcast, and that day I will get canceled because I will defend that movie, even though it's there's a lot going on. But Danny Elfman plays Satan. I'm just gonna sell you on this. Yeah, Danny Elfman plays Satan.
Sold.
Also, Her Villachez, the little person from Fantasy Island, is the king of the fourth dimension.
Cool.
And he rules with an iron fist.
Okay.
There's a frog butler. There's a topless princess. There's it's just got a lot going on.
Say no more.
Exactly.
Topless princess.
But definitely check that one out.
Okay.
Paul Rubens' original concept for the film was actually a remake of Pollyanna, which is like a 60s like child film.
Yeah.
The idea was that like Pee-wee was just going to replace the titular 12-year-old girl. So it was going to be like Pee-wee like living with his aunt and like not allowed to go to the like Big Top Pee-wee basically becomes that.
Mm.
So it's going to be like, but Ma, I'll need to go to the circus. But it was going to be like, you know, a 38-year-old man.
Yeah. Okay.
But after noticing how many cool bicycles, noticing how many cool bikes were on the Warner Brothers lot, he changed his inspiration to the French classic film The Bicycle Thief. I'm gonna fucking lose my voice here.
I keep missing it.
Rubens, Hartman, and Varhol rewrote the script after reading the book's screenplay. So literally they read like a screenplay for dummies kind of thing.
I saw that, yeah.
Paul Rubens said, yeah, it was like a fucking light switch went off basically. 90 minutes means 90 pages. I lose my bike on page 30, find it on page 60.
Yeah.
Book also said we needed a MacGuffin, so that's where the whole bicycle plot came in. Jan Hooks, we talked about this earlier. The Alamo tour guide actually improvised all of her dialogue.
I knew it.
She's
Wow.
Called it.
Wow.
She's so fucking good. So yeah, she's just like, that whole thing is just, yeah, you're gonna like, I'm sure that was supposed to be like a 2-minute scene. And then she's like, no, we're gonna just do this. I'm gonna tell you all the uses for corn, also known as maize.
wow.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alice Nunn, aka Large Marge, never blinked during her scene.
Oh, because she's a ghost, and ghosts
Yeah.
don't need to blink.
Ghosts? Ghosts?
She also
Ghosts.
they did
blink.
multiple takes, and she didn't blink during a single one, which you know becomes a huge trademark of our director Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
God, those dry eyeballs.
Watery eyes.
And the transformation claymation was done by the Chiodos brothers,
Oh, was
which
it really?
I didn't know. Yeah, which I was like, holy shit,
Oh, nice.
another one for them.
Yep.
We'll get to that. Rubens had a gnarly case of the flu when they shot the scene where he returns to Chuck's bike emporium and like falls and knocks over the bike shop. He was originally supposed to do like a much bigger kind of explosion and like destroy the shop completely, but he was like just dying. Like he's like, it's, you know, running 103. So it's like, I'm just going to fall on the bikes and that's it. We're calling it for the day. Paul Rubens is deathly afraid of snakes.
Yes, he is.
He really wanted to use rubber ones during the pet store bit, but Tim Burton insisted. And he said that the fear would come through on screen.
And it did. He fainted multiple times.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for real. Cassandra Peterson as the motorcycle,
Yeah.
the motorcycle mama.
I have her as
Vera,
my
yeah.
I have her as my Channing Tatum lady.
Oh yeah. I love her so much, and I love them together. They
Yeah.
were on the Groundlings together. You know, they were very good close friends. Had a very similar kind of trajectory in terms of like they just created these characters that like live forever. You know, pretty cool.
I think it's not really like, I guess it's a fun fact, but in Batman Returns, Pee-wee actually plays the Penguin's dad,
Oh, really?
his father.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
And Penguin is Danny DeVito. And when the light catches Pee-wee like in the right angle, his makeup kind of looks like mortuary makeup, like the super white face, like red lips, and like the dark eyebrows. And I'm like, that is Danny DeVito in like a couple episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with like terrible like mortuary makeup. And I'm like, oh, full circle moments, your dad. So I think that's like my fun fact.
For alternative casting, I have Corey Feldman
Oh,
actually turned down the role of Francis. He was the first choice,
Wow.
but he turned it down for a good reason. He turned it down because it was conflicting with him playing Mouth in The Goonies.
okay.
Which, like, I
Iconic.
need him in The
Yeah.
Goonies more
Yeah.
than I need him in Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And also, like, I don't know about y'all, but like the fact that Francis is also a like mid-30s
Yes.
grown-ass man, that like, yeah.
And Corey
That's-
has like forever baby face, so
Yeah,
it wouldn't have
exactly.
been as like camp. So it was like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
You
would have
wouldn't-
felt bad about Paul Rubens, like, or Paul Rubens, like waterboarding Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
a little bit, you know?
Yeah. You don't feel bad for,
No.
for this Francis. Who's the actor that played Francis?
Mark Holton.
Wow.
Yeah.
Iconic.
Laura Dern, Phoebe Cates, Leah Thompson, and Jennifer Jason Leigh were all considered for Dottie. But I mean, it's like, yeah, it's gotta be E.G. Daily, dude.
Man, she is Dottie.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
gotta be Tommy Pickles.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that either. That just hit me.
Oh, that's a weird one.
Oh
to
my
learn.
gosh.
She's also Buttercup too.
Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, she's
she
in a ton of
is.
stuff.
She's an incredible voice actor.
She is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is so weird though seeing her like as a like human acting, especially like in some movies like Devil's Rejects and Valley Girl.
Yes,
she's
Valley
playing like racier roles and stuff, and you're like, but Tommy, no. What about Phil and Lil? Like, no, don't do this.
Oh my God, she is in Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She is, yeah.
Tommy Pickles is in Devil's
Yeah.
Rejects. And Buttercup. Oh my God, that's amazing.
We have the usual suspects, actors and crew from previously reviewed films with suspicious connections. I've got a few. Do you have any, Javi?
Yeah, I do. So I have Phil Hartman, who loosely connected. He was in the Gong Show movie.
Oh.
Right, which kind of ties into Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which we did about Chuck Barris. And James Brolin was in The Goods with Ving Rhames from Mission Impossible. Yeah, that's what I got.
I've got some. I got a really fun one later. But I've got Paul Rubens was in an episode of Mork and Mindy, which is Mindy was Pam Dauber, who is in Stay Tuned. So that's that movie there.
Right.
The Chiodos brothers, who I mentioned earlier, who did the Large Marge makeup. They're like special effect wizards from God. They're like up there with Phil Tippett, like as far as the claymation and all that. They did most of the special effects in RoboCop.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
We've got Mark Holton, who plays Francis, is in Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox from Back to the Future. And then my favorite is we got, like, I love when we get a big fish like this. Like we got Ving Rhames last time. Now we got Elizabeth Daily, Dottie. She is in The Devil's Rejects, as I said, with William Forsythe, who was in Blue Streak. But this one, like, you get her voice acting there. She's in the fucking Emoji Movie with Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, Jennifer Coolidge's voice.
Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
I see what you're doing here.
Exactly. Luke is much better at this. Luke's
always,
like, this is like Luke's favorite segment.
I have maybe one, but not within the universe, not necessarily this movie. But Natasha Lyonne was in Pee-wee's Playhouse on the first episode. And of course, she was in American Pie and
Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
Universe.
Twofer. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
I guess it's time for another bicycle. I meant ad break. It's time to take another ad break. Welcome back. We're back with Act 3, the award categories. We'll start things off with my new band name. Memorable quote or reference that would make a cool, edgy band name. And what genre would said band be?
I got They Call Me Chuck. Just a bluegrass, it's a bluegrass band. Yeah. I also love that line too, just for no fucking reason. Like, oh, you're the shop owner? Yep, that's me. They call me Chuck.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, but just within the context of the movie, it's just like,
I also love that he's from the Caribbean and his name is Chuck out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think mine would be I Know You Are, but What Am I? Like, that one is just so iconic, and that would obviously be a heavy metal band.
Obvious.
There you go. Yeah.
Obvious.
Yeah. But like also punk rock, like very political too, would be like really good. Like something like
actually
Rage
like that
Against the
better.
Machine, something like that.
I like that better.
Like Alien versus Predator versus Brown versus Board of Education, like something like that.
Hell yeah.
Good band.
I'll just start peppering them in. I've got Don't Leave the House Today. They are also like a Rage Against the Machine-esque kind of like political activist band.
Okay.
I've got KG Bike Thief. They're a post-punk band. The quote is, so why exactly do you think the Soviets were involved? It's when he's like in the police station and he's like trying to make his case.
That's like Russian hooker techno music. I like that. Lenin in the streets, Dostoevsky in the sheets. Kind of like that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. That'd be good.
I got an emo punk band named Basement at the Alamo.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I like that.
Yep.
I got Satan's Helpers.
Yeah.
Probably a metal band. And I'm just going to go in with another band name, but I think this is maybe Satan's Helpers album, and that's Stop That Nun.
Nice.
I like that.
I've got knitting. It's all together. Like it's just like one word. Knitting. They're a screamo band. It's like a spool, and you just keep unraveling it and knitting and knitting and knitting and knitting. I've got Amazing Larry.
Yep.
Pedal heavy garage rock band. Also, fun fact about Amazing Larry, apparently there was a whole deleted scene outside the magic shop.
Really?
Where you actually get context as to who he is.
Oh.
So like Pee-wee runs into him and Larry's like, oh, I got a big show like tonight. Da 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 da. I'm like, I don't know what to do about my hair, Pee-wee. And Pee-wee says to do something extravagant with his hair. And it'll liven up like the magic show and ease his nerves. That's why there's just like, you cut to him and he's just got a random ass mohawk.
Like a rainbow
Yeah.
mohawk. Yeah.
They had to cut it out to make room for the Alamo scene.
Exactly.
Yeah, crucial.
Makes sense.
I appreciate that there's no context for Amazing Larry.
I do too. I
don't
think that
need
makes it way stronger.
Yeah.
We're just supposed to be okay with it. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I don't need it.
Yeah.
My last one is Large Marge.
Yeah.
It's just an 80s hair metal.
Yes. Definitely. I'd listen to them.
Yeah.
Large Marge. Maybe kind of like the Runaways, like in the 70s. You have like a Joan Jett with the giant hair, Cherie Currie, something like that.
Yeah. There you go.
I've got Stolen Returns. They're an electropop band. The quote is, well, whoever returns it stole it and doesn't deserve the money, Dottie.
Yeah.
Because she's asking how he's going to pay like $100,000 for the bike return. Got Dinosaur Sunrise. They're a psychedelic rock band. I also had the Alamo Basements. And then my final one is Avoir Simone. They're a melodic hardcore band like Touche Amore or like La Dispute, something like that.
Okay.
And their first song is obviously First Bus to Paris.
Nice.
I like that one.
I've got updated movie title for 2023. What would the movie be called if it was released today?
Pee-wee. Just keep keep
it simple, yeah.
Simplifying everything just gets shortened. So Pee-wee.
I had Pee-wee's Bike Adventure. I know, I'm teasing there.
Bastard.
Bastard, man.
I agree. I think just Pee-wee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to consider if this would even be like considered like a cult classic too, because it made like a big amount of money when it first came out. But now with his passing, I feel like a bunch of new people are going to start watching it too. So would it be considered a cult classic?
I think it's always been a cult classic personally, just because it like launched like people's careers, and it was also just like this was like the world's introduction pretty much to Pee-wee.
I mean, you said it was like Tim Burton's first film too, and like how that name is like so known like in every household. So yeah, I think just Pee-wee.
Yeah.
You got one, Taylor. It's cool if you don't.
Pee-wee's bicycle?
Ah!
I just wanted you guys to
I know. We got the Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award for cinematography. Scenes with exceptional or relatively good camera work and scene design.
First time we see the two-wheeled transportation device. We get like all the the typical close up with the glistening light on it. I think there's even like a little bit of like stage smoke and stuff, and it's just
It almost looks like it's just like covered in Vaseline.
Yeah.
Also,
olive oil
that
everywhere.
Is a great one.
I also love how hidden he keeps the bike. Like I love that it's like he like has to like it's like a little passcode. It's like fucking triangulating with satellites and like the whole hedge lifts
You
up.
think the passcode is gonna be it, but then he has to like pull on a branch.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and then like the million chains too.
Yes.
To lock it up.
Locking it to the clown.
Pulling out the chain, like that's a clown routine as he's just staring this like animatronic clown in the eyes. It's so good.
Yeah, I love how too like they set it where it's like for me it's like one of mine is like the Dutch angles of when the bike is first stolen. Where it's like they set it up like this beautiful scene of like, oh, it's like this happy plaza and all that, and then you get like all these like horrific close-ups of Pee-wee's anguish. You get the see how ominous the clown really is. Like it's laughing, it's mocking him. You get
Does the clown's face change in that
I think
moment?
it does a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, or is it because like thank you. Yeah, it is more ominous.
Yeah.
My personal favorite shot in the whole movie though is the T-Rex mouth sunrise.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
That's
Like it's just so gorgeous, and like you have the sun perfectly come up between the teeth.
so pretty.
It's like almost like
I love that
romantic, but
shot.
they're like platonic friends. So
Yeah.
I'm like, are they gonna get together? Like when I first watched it, I was like,
Yeah.
you leave him.
I know.
But it's so sweet. I love
It's so
their
sweet. I love their friendship. I think mine would be when he's in the truck with Large Marge and she like turns to him and it's like the super scary like Tim Burton like Beetlejuice kind of like animation. When I was a kid, that scared the shit out of me. And it was scary. And then like seeing Beetlejuice after that, I was like, why are you doing this to me? Like I want to enjoy your movies. I'm very scared. And then seeing it again kind of scared me again. But it's good because I've never seen anything like that when I was younger. Just like out of nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not
So
realistic
shocking.
at all, but it's still really shocking.
Yeah.
You need a little childhood trauma every now and then. You know, you need a little kick in the pants.
Builds character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My final one is, the shot where there's the bike wheels spinning behind Pee-wee as he's like formulating the strategy of like how to call the town hall and all of that. Like he's like, like stroking his chin.
And then also at the end when they're riding off and you see their silhouettes, I'm like, what a great ending. It's perfect.
We got the Is That Channing Tatum in a Dog Collar award, awarded to an actor with an unexpected cameo or bit part. You already touched on it earlier, but yeah, mine is Cassandra Peterson, a.k.a. the Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, as just a random motorcycle gang member.
Yep. Yeah. Love her so much. I didn't know who that was when I was a kid, you know?
Elvira.
and I loved Elvira when I was a kid. But
but did you not
I didn't know who
yeah.
she was until I was a grown-ass adult, and I was like, holy shit, that's Cassandra Peterson. That's Elvira.
Nice.
I guess they had like a trade-off too, like as you said before, they were friends in the Groundlings, but there was like a whole thing where she was supposed to do this movie and then he was going to be a guest on her show, and then he just like, something happened, like a scheduling conflict or something, he just like bailed and never was on.
I actually didn't know that either, that was Elvira.
Oh,
that just like blew my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so quick too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard.
And she looks good. And she looks good still to this day.
Oh,
like,
yeah, she does.
Oh, yeah.
Mistress of the
Like
Dark.
a fine wine.
I like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Like a fine, spooky wine.
A Pinot, if you will.
Exactly. I guess more like a kind of like Easter eggy cameo thing than anything, but a bunch of people from the original, or that would go on to be in Playhouse, because I guess this is before Playhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Phil Hartman is the reporter at the end that you see. I didn't know this until I looked it up. When he's on the Universal lot and he's like running, and he runs into, it's like a soldier like in red armor and this woman who's like, they've got to be in some kind of like Roman like epic basically. And it's a moment that Javi mentioned earlier where it's
The voice switching.
yeah, the switching where he's way up here and she's way down here. Like, oh, it's to the left, kiddo. Kind of thing. The Roman soldier's fucking Jambi. Jambi from Playhouse. The
Mecca
Honey Ho.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't know that either. Yeah. I thought that was cool. That it was just like, oh, sick. So he like just like had all of his people like ducks in a row, and then like when they got the green light for the show, he's like,
my
well, you're the like that guy.
Yeah,
I know he had like one line in the movie, but that guy's the fucking wizard. That guy's
Holy crap.
Keep the contracts going.
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, I got one. Twisted
Yes.
fucking
Twisted
Sister.
Sister.
Yes. Oh my god.
I forgot that was in there. And so as soon as I saw D. Snyder, I was like, yes. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I also love that they don't tone down for like Pee-wee, which like could be perceived as a kid's movie. It's like, no, we're gonna sing a song about hell.
Yeah. Ugh, fantastic.
No, the children need to learn about hell.
They should.
Fucking James Brolin
Yeah, dude.
as P.W. Herman. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
so great.
so
yeah.
hot.
I couldn't remember who was like, you know, like when I was like, oh, I remember it's somebody big. I'm like, who is it? And for a second, I was like, oh, Pierce Brosnan. Like, no, wait, this is 85. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Mine was like Burt. I was like, was that Burt Reynolds?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
trying to remember
Yeah.
like who it was. But
I also thought.
Right, 'cause
I
he-
rewatched it. I was like, oh shit.
it's kind of like the same look of like
Yeah.
the 80s time. Like,
Bushy brow.
yeah, bushy
Hunk of a
brow,
man.
huge like hunk of a man, like very like thick beard. I'm like, that Burt Reynolds looks good, but it's not him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, just the movie in general. Let's just go off topic and talk about the fucking movie at the end.
One of my favorite moments in the movie when Pee-wee's like in his own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like doesn't know what
So
he's
awkward.
He's
Yeah.
so awkward. He keeps looking at the camera and like when he's mouthing the lines, that is just
The
like,
lip dub is so
fucking
bad.
kills me. Yeah.
Slowly creeping in and out of the eye line too.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh shit, I shouldn't stand here. Oh, okay, go back.
Breaking the fourth wall, looking
Yeah.
straight at the camera, and not even caring.
I also love that they heard his voice and they were like, oh, he's terrible. And so he's dubbed over with this like, your room is ready.
Yeah.
Mr. Herman, the phone. Yeah.
You want to do it in his voice, but it's like, paging Mr. Herman. And he's so proud of himself.
I know.
He's watching like, there I am.
Well, and everyone else is so proud of him too. Like
I
Mickey,
know.
like when he's in
Mickey.
chains on the bus, is just like, oh damn kid, he did good. Look at you up there.
And all the little kids with their bikes, like, can I get your autograph? Can I get your autograph? I was like, Pee-wee,
I love that
celebrity
little
now. Yeah.
We have it's a sailboat award. What are the themes or bigger messages that the director's trying to convey?
The only thing that I had, basically just that pairing of Tim Burton and Paul Rubens, outsider protagonist, kind of this person that's not real, doesn't really fit into the bigger picture, but then at the end you're like, well, course he did. He did this whole time. And like, why was I even, oh, I'm such an asshole for thinking this person's so weird. Just kind of that whole idea, I think, is kind of, again, I don't think it was super layered on, but.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah.
When, like throughout this movie, not everyone's like put off by Pee-wee immediately,
Sure,
but
yeah.
some of them are. And at the very end, when you see everyone from the film, everyone loves Pee-wee so much. And it's just like, yeah, this total like kooky weirdo is accepted by everyone.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah, the theme of like authenticity, like being yourself, like never leaving like your inner child, and like being kind of like that weird outsider that's just like so lovable by nature. Like, I don't know, I really appreciate Pee-wee because I feel very much like a weirdo sometimes, and I think like a lot of that came from like watching him when I was younger. I was like, okay, I'm kind of the same. Love him.
Okay. We're
It's
allowed
okay.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be unapologetically yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, I like all of your guys's. Yours is nice.
Mine is
Let's hear your fucking garbage. Wrong.
Say it.
Mine is very left field. Mine is psychics and fortune tellers are monsters that prey upon people at their weakest moments and can often sway those who are having a moment of crisis into making rash decisions.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll take that.
Because he wouldn't have gone to the Alamo if she wasn't just like, Alamo locksmith, basement bar. Okay, yes, basement of Alamo.
That's a great.
Like looking at his wallet with like the bike
Yeah,
pictures
right.
in front of him. She's like, your bike? And he's like, how did you know?
Where is it? Is it okay?
But as someone who's been to a palm reader many times, I'm like, they got it right. Like, they always tell me the correct information, so I appreciated that. But she was a liar.
Yes.
But it's about the journey. He went on a great journey. He
it's
made
about the
He needed
so
that journey.
many.
He needed that
needed
journey.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learn different things about yourself. Make new friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Learn to let go too, because he's like coveting this bicycle.
Ah!
Yeah. I mean, he learned that the Alamo doesn't have a basement.
Yeah.
That's not something they teach you in school.
I love that moment
Something
where
you
it's
have
like,
to experience.
that's something he said. He says it so like, just like as if, it's like, well, they don't teach you how to like grow up in school. It's like, they don't teach you that the Alamo doesn't have a basement in school. You got to learn that on the streets, Dottie.
Spoiler alert, they don't teach you anything. Also, expect the unexpected, I guess, too,
Mm-hmm.
would be one of those.
Oh.
Every situation.
Be able to roll with the punches.
was so different than like what the viewer for the first time is like going to expect. It just totally goes like left field.
Totally wildly unexpected movie. Like this is unpredictable. If you've never seen this movie before,
Fever
you
dream,
have
kind
no
of.
idea.
Yeah.
Hans Gruber Deathfall Award, awarded to characters with satisfying death scenes. No one dies in this? I got to cheat, though.
Yeah.
But I'll let anyone
Go
else
for it. It's probably the
first.
same one.
Probably. Francis getting ejected from
Yeah.
Pee-wee's
Yeah.
bike seat. Yeah.
Right.
Bye, Francis.
Yeah,
Just
broken
a-
arm for sure.
He also, he might have died. Who knows?
Just
I mean,
getting
we
his
saw him
comeuppance.
like on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the controversial hot takes. What would make someone rewatch this movie with a different point of view?
I guess now that he's passed away, like I wanted to watch it again just to kind of get a refresher. And I was like, oh, this is kind of like a big part of like my childhood. Like I know we're not going to get any new material. So it's just like enjoying what has already been made and kind of holding on to it like a little bit tighter. Because like with like a lot of like actors that we have right now, I know that they might, with the actor strike, I don't know, and the writer strike, who knows, but they might create something new that I can enjoy. But with like Pee-wee, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to enjoy something new. So I'm going to hold on to this like a little bit longer. I think that's mine.
I mean, I know obviously he's the creator of the character, and he's always said, oh, it's for the kids, for the children. But I don't know, man. My hot take is that kids just happen to also be able to enjoy along with adults. I definitely
100%.
think, right, this is a character created to let other people, adults, his peers in society, let them know, hey, it's okay to be yourself, to make sure you treat everybody some level of respect and acceptance, and I just think that it just picked up on a lot more of those like little themes here and there, and I just think I don't think it's for the kids. I think
I think Pee-wee's always been for children and adults, which is what makes Pee-wee so great. Yeah, and anyone adult who did not grow up with Pee-wee Herman or watch this movie and might think it's just for kids, like it's a good thing to remind them, like, this is very much for everyone.
yeah.
Gonna go left field on this one.
Do it, please.
Mine is that Mickey and Dottie have parallel relationships with Pee-wee Herman. because Dottie has the like unrequited love, girl in the bike shop, sees him every day, yada yada. Mickey comes off as cold and, mysterious and whatnot. And he even feeds Pee-wee the like, well, I'm a rebel, I'm a loner, you don't want to get mixed up with me, kid speech. After a little drag and a little, Pee-wee saving his skin there, like Mickey looks him up and down and it's just like, okay. Like, you know what? New era of Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like when he finds him again, like at the drive-in, Mickey's like, he's grateful for obviously trying to sneak in the nail file and the foot-long hot dog. But also there's kind of like a lingering moment there where it's like, you were so good up there, kid.
Yeah.
Mickey will be out real soon.
No, Pee-wee definitely softened.
He's got
softened Mickey.
Exactly. He's just got that effect on people.
Yeah. Well, he looked a few times when Pee-wee was in his disguise.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Oh, the drag was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was amazing. Yeah. And the cop was like, hey,
Oh,
get
yeah,
out of the car. I'm like, whoa. He's like, dude, just
Step
don't
out
do
of
it
the car,
tomorrow.
please.
Yeah. Just want to see that cute outfit.
Yeah,
I'm like, the outfit is not that cute. You want to see something else.
I think it's cute.
For a cop, like a cop like that, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know all of that.
We got time for another Spider-Man award. Do we need a remake? If one already exists, is it necessary? Absolutely fucking not. Especially now that Paul Rubens has passed, so has Pee-wee. No one else is allowed to play this character. I'm putting my foot down.
Well, they say that about so many things too, and then they find someone. And I'm like, please stop.
Exactly.
Do not do a remake.
Yes,
Don't
let's
have
rake in the money.
Do not have it be Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I was going to say Timothy Chalamet Pee-wee origin story.
Yeah, no, literally. I'm like, please put those sad eyes away.
Oh, God. Saw a trailer for, total side note, but saw a trailer for Wonka for the first time during, went and saw Barbie recently. Friend of mine sitting next to me was like watching it and he was just like, as the trailer, like he just kept breathing deeper as the Wonka trailer went on. And then it ended. He's like, I'm viscerally angry right now.
Yeah.
He's like, I think I gotta like walk this one off.
Why?
The writer's strike.
Exactly.
Literally. AI is coming up with these ideas.
It's a little chat GPT.
Yeah.
We got the Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, a made-up list of deep, emotional, and esoteric relevance to the subject of the film. Question changes weekly. This week's question, what are your top 5 all-time Quest movies?
Okay.
Go for it.
In maybe no particular order, Joe Dirt.
Hell yeah. That is a Quest. Hell yeah.
Haven't seen that in a very long time. It's a movie I would love for you guys to do here.
I would love to do that one too.
And then Detroit Rock City.
Nice.
Of course. Put Galaxy Quest on here.
Hell yeah.
Almost had that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Muppet movie. Good Quest.
There you go.
Feel like the Muppets and Pee-wee Herman are like in that same
little
kind
crossover
of
for
category
sure.
for me of just like wholesome goodness shit that I want to hold on to forever. And then Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, fuck yeah. I don't know how I didn't have that one.
Oh, that's it.
For my top 5 Quest movies, number 5, I've got Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Oh, good.
Yep.
That's a really good one.
That is the best one.
Oh,
Yeah. Actually, I like rattled my brain for a second and be like, is there even like, because it's like, we don't even look for the pick until like, 70 minutes into the movie. Kind of like, okay, it's still a Quest.
but they want a Quest to be stars.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's true. Number 4, I got Shrek.
Oh, okay.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, Quest for Fiona.
Damn it.
Also, Shrek's coming up. Don't worry, Hubby.
Yep. Ooh, so stoked.
Have me here for Shrek. He's also a Taurus, and I'm a Taurus. Talk about it.
Number 3, I got Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ooh, yep.
A Quest just to get home for Thanksgiving. And also, you know what? I like me. My kids like me, okay? Number 2, they're good enough for me. They're good enough for you. I got The Goonies.
Oh, yep.
I mean, talk about a quest of quests. Kids trying to find buried treasure. Holy shit.
That's
So
a
good.
great
Yeah.
one.
And then my number 1 is all about the babe. Which babe? The babe with the power. I got number 1, I got The Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I like that. I like that we had 2 different lists and could kind of be different too. So
No,
yeah.
It's such a vague question that it's like, this is a fun one.
Yeah. No, like sometimes we do have like a lot of overlap, which is fine too. But so I got mine. My number 5, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. That was the first one that came to my head. It's not my number 1, but it's the first one I was like, oh, I gotta have it on there. I have to. My number 4 was Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Hell yeah.
Number 3, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Come on,
Thought
let's
about
go.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Could not leave that one out. And then this is where things get serious. Number 2, I have Fellowship of the Ring. You were just talking about it before the cast. I would love to do that one too sometime. And number 1 is Star Wars: A New Hope.
I have some overlap as well. Like when you guys were saying them, I was like, oh, that one was so good. But I think my number 5 would be Blade Runner, the newer one with Ryan Gosling. That one was so good.
I haven't seen it either.
24/9,
yeah, it's amazing.
Nice.
Definitely better than the first one, which I never say about movies, but it's so good.
Cut the mic.
Well, Harrison Ford is still in it too, so he comes back. So I'm like, okay, that's why I'll allow it. But yeah, it's really
I heard
good.
that from a couple people. Actually.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm open to that.
Definitely Shrek 2, obviously. Not Shrek 2, but like Shrek as well.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, Shrek is so good. Actually, Shrek 2 is probably not better than the first one, but the soundtrack to Shrek 2 is so good too.
A1.
Yeah, you have like some of the best music in that one too. Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero is amazing. Lord of the Rings, obviously. But then the South Park version of it, even though it's the TV show, like, it is so good. Where Butters plays Gollum is like amazing. Tenacious D would be my second because the soundtrack is just so amazing too. Like the quest from like beginning to end, Kickapoo to Master Exploder to like Satan coming out is so good. And then I think my number 1 would have to be Pan's Labyrinth, which is like so amazing. I love that movie. With Ophelia, and that's like Guillermo del Toro, like one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Damn, we got a double Labyrinth number 1.
Yeah.
Different labyrinths.
Yep.
Awesome.
That was good. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Hey, the risk of regretting this later, we still got time. I'm gonna put in a new segment called Wait. It'll just be like a little free for all. If y'all got stuff you got to get off your chest, or favorite scenes you still want to gush about, or just like questions that were unanswered.
Oh, the biker bar. Let's talk about the fucking biker bar.
The biker bar,
scene,
tequila.
Man.
I know.
Tequila.
No one.
Scene.
I was
Tequila.
like waiting for that to be someone's favorite scene, and no one said anything. I was like, fuck. And I was like,
so in the beginning, you were like, pick a favorite scene. And I was just like, can't pick one. Snakes. Yeah. But yeah, the biker scene is up there for sure. Yeah, so much fun.
I love that he borrows the busboy's shoes too.
It's like bonkers.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
On the phone, quiet down, Pee-wee.
I am on the phone.
But I said it earlier, I love it when he gets a little sassy and like a little snappy and like irritated because it's so like visually appealing and like, oh, Pee-wee's getting mad. Like the buildup of it is so good.
The classic dance, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but
I guess that was like a bit he would do in his stand-up routines.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think I heard it came from a joke that his father would tell, but he couldn't like remember the joke. He just knows that involved like sticking your fingers in your butt and then sticking your fingers in your mouth. He was just like, I don't know what the joke is, but I think it's funny and I'm going to dance to it.
I think mine would be like Pee-wee wearing the same outfit the entire movie. It's like multiple days apart. But I love that his character is like so childlike, but then he's in like a 3-piece suit. Makes me so happy too with like the red tie. It's so great. And then the hobo. Like the classic, like I'm gonna have like a bag wrapped around a stick. Yeah.
It's got even got spots on it too.
Yeah, it's like
What's the name for that?
Just like a knapsack? I don't know.
A running away bag.
Yeah.
Like it was literally
Someone's
like
screaming right
yeah.
now. There's a name for
knapsack. That sounds.
Someone is yelling at the podcast right now.
Exactly.
This is what it is.
I didn't say the B word, so no
the
one's
big
yelling
thumb.
here. Yeah. Anything that has to do with Texas.
Oh, dude.
Like when he gets to Texas. Like
I
where he just,
remember
like,
the Alamo.
Yeah, exactly.
How is that not the first thing we talked about?
I know. Can't remember anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what's your name, boy? And it's like, I don't know. It's like, what do you remember? I remember the Alamo.
Yeah!
What's the song that he sings when he's on the phone? And he's like, stars at night.
Oh, something
so
like
big,
Oh, yeah.
bright.
Down in the heart of Texas.
Yeah. I fucking know it. Sorry, Texas.
No, but if you do that in Texas, people will sing along.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Oh, yeah, I've done it before.
Oh, sorry. You mean,
Yeah.
that's funny. Yeah, I was curious if that was actually like something that like a Texan would be like, oh, that's
yeah.
funny. Like, yeah, that's...
Yeah, big time.
Nice.
Especially like in Austin and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love that.
Oh my god, that's great. I know you kind of touched on it just before the sun rises, you know, while they're sitting inside. When that scene starts, again, just another one of those scenes that just comes the fuck out of nowhere, and it's very like noir-esque. It's like, do you ever have dreams, Pee-wee?
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is
The
going
lighting
on?
is like
Yeah.
fucking
It's
like
just like
David
half there.
Lynch.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like very like you're watching Twin Peaks for half a second for no reason.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I was screaming at that part. Yeah.
It's like, do you ever have dreams? And he's like, yeah. And he just goes like,
Some
into
weird,
like some nonsense dreams. Like, no. And yeah, just I love the innuendo with that whole scene too, where it's like, seems
he's
like
listening
everyone's
outside the
got
door.
a big butt. I want to know about your big butt.
Yeah. I've never had someone put it to me like that before.
Exactly.
Just like listening and like, what the fuck is going on in
Everyone
there?
I know has a big butt. Come on, Simone. Let's talk about your big butt.
Exactly.
Which is super random little thing, but as I was watching it, I was like, holy shit, is that guy actually that tall? Looked it up. Yeah, the Andy, the boyfriend who's chasing Pee-wee around.
Oh.
Yeah, that fool's 7'8".
Really?
No
Yeah,
way.
because I was like watching, and I like just kept focusing. I'm like, every time he was on, dude, this guy's huge. Like, is that? And I'm just trying to look at his legs. And he's on stilts or camera trickery. You know, I'm like, no.
Paul
no.
Bunyan, tall as hell.
Yeah, I guess he was a wrestler at some point, not like super famous, but yeah, 7'8". So I was like, oh,
Dang.
huge.
Fun fact.
I mean, I already knew that Rubens was probably pretty small, but
Also love him setting
Like 5'10".
a world bull rider record while he's like hiding out from Andy too.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. Make eye contact while he's on the bull. In that big red shirt. Ah,
Back on the scene
Oh, it works
where he does the tequila dance on the bar. I love that when he wins the biking gang over, they give him a bike and everything. He's like, "You're one of us, brother!" Like, he literally just like guns it into a fucking like billboard and just breaks every bone in his body basically.
yeah.
all the gadgets and gizmos and like and it was near the opening where they have the breakfast scene. I think you brought it up. It's funny because it's also very Tim Burton-y too. It's like definitely a Pee-wee thing. If you watch Playhouse, but it's also like very again, I think that's like that perfect pairing. So they probably had tons of fun. Like, what do we? Oh, and then little rubber chicken that hits them. Like, yeah. And it's just reminded me a lot of like the stuff in like Edward Scissorhands and whatnot. And
Kind of like
super fun. Or
futuristic.
even just later in the movie too, where like the guy's like trying to grab his handlebar and it comes off, and he's got the little extra handlebar
Extra
that comes
tassel.
off. Yeah, tassel. Yeah. All that. Anytime they had kind of stuff like that, the magic shop, all that stuff, so
Magic
fun.
shop. Yes. Oh, that's a great scene. That's so fun. The trick gum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like black goo coming out of Vince's mouth.
So gross.
Like you got that classic like fist shaking moment.
It's funny. I don't know what a lot means, but I know that was one of the trivia things that I did see online somewhere, right? That quote a lot of the toys and props were from Rubens' own from Paul Rubens' own personal collection.
Oh.
And so I was just curious. I was like, I wonder which ones. Like, just
I do too.
got a huge shoe like on his wall somewhere. Like, I don't.
Well, that was like his stand-up. That was his special, right?
Sure.
It just like it immediately starts off with like Paul Rubens coming out as Pee-wee, and he's just like, "Look at this! Okay, now look at this and this and this," and it's just like fucking throwing toys all over the place. Like, oh man.
I think mine is like when he gets ditched and he's out in the middle of nowhere and it's nighttime and all you see is like his blinking eyes. The cartoon eyes, and then the light flashes and it's just all these like taxidermy.
It's like so cheetah. It's like it's just a taxidermy cheetah and like all this.
Are you sure the budget was $4 million? Like they spent like maybe $30.
It's so good. I mean, that's
great.
But it's so good. It's
Joke
so
land.
bad, but it's so good.
Yeah, those headlight glasses. I don't know why.
And then it just cuts to the next scene. Like we don't. Yeah, it's so good.
That was another random one that got cut. Is like because he gets the headlight glasses from the magic shop.
Yeah.
But he gets the boomerang bow tie.
Right.
So apparently, like in the lot, there's like a scene where he's like running from the security and he uses the bow tie to like get away.
Oh, okay.
But it's just like a 2-second little thing that they just cut because they were like,
I was thinking that. I was like, they must have had something to tie in this bow tie.
They just didn't have it just wasn't very good, I guess. It was just like this is just like, another 2 minutes of him on a bike and these guys are on motorcycles behind him.
Red bow tie.
Which the amount of stuff that went into that final chase scene. Just like you kept going. I was like, oh shit, this is still going, and it's just you got the explosions and
Get
going through sets and like
and like Santa Claus,
no, it was great. And they go into
so
like
good.
the little jungle part and everything. Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Oh,
swings on the bike.
Pee-wee as a nun with in the flying nun costume.
Oh, that's another random cameo. Yeah, one of the nuns.
Yeah.
The actress's name is escaping me right now.
Me
but
too.
yeah. Miss Yvonne. There it is.
Yes.
It took me a second. I was like,
There's also
final
like
synapse.
the mom and like Bridesmaids, and she's been in a couple of like really small parts, but she's amazing.
We feel good? Do we air our grievances? Do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feeling better.
On to the epilogue. Who won the movie? Best performance, most scene chewing, directing, etc. Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make
course.
the argument, like Tim Burton or Danny Elfman or something, but it's Paul Rubens.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Movie would not exist, without him. This movie just exists so that he can continue to explore the character of Pee-wee with different given circumstances. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Like, he really has had a vision, and like him hiring Tim Burton to do this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it really makes sense. And I'm so glad it exists.
Likewise. I think it's
Yeah.
probably one of my favorites. It's so good.
Yeah, it's on that list of movies that every time I love it with a passion, and every time I rewatch it, I find new things and also just deepen that love. It's just like putting another log on the fire. It's just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's right. And then just like finding little jokes that I didn't catch, like even on the 20th time around.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
For me, it's like the different actors and actresses. Like just now, like learning about so many of them. I'm very much like that person who's also on like IMDb. I'm like, what else have you been in and stuff? But like, for me, that movie just feels so old that I'm like, no one from this movie is in any other things. Like, this is just like a one of a kind cast. But then you see them in other stuff. I'm like, oh, it just all makes sense.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I'm so sad now.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
Stay happy.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to be this guy, but like, I just that opening scene, I really got teary for a second. I didn't, I cry or whatever, but I definitely got teary.
Okay,
I was like,
it's
okay.
I was like, damn, just him like laughing and giggling, having to just, like, doing all that stuff was just, it was so good, and just had a blast watching this movie. I'm so glad we did it.
Yeah. Well, we were going to do it eventually, and then it was just like, we actually had a different movie lined up for this week, and it was like, news broke, and it's like, no, gotta do Big Adventure.
Yeah.
Gotta. Yeah. I think the last time I watched this movie, this is like several years, like maybe 4 years ago. I don't remember, but I had a bad day. Really, I think I was maybe heartbroken. Like, I was just really down, and I called my friend James Ryle. What's up? And he came over. He brought a DVD of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and he was like, "You're sad? We're watching this, and after this, you won't be sad." And he was fucking right.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it in so long. I had just instant joy. It was like straight to my fucking veins. I was like, I don't even remember what I was sad about. Like, I'm so full of joy right now.
Yeah.
So thank you, Paul.
Well, on to the universal, unanimous verdict. We let it live.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need this needs to happen. This film needs to happen.
Exactly.
And it's timeless. It's one of those timeless. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie is gonna live forever. I mean, I can't imagine this movie. I think we're past the point where be like, oh, maybe it won't hold up in 10, 20 years. No, this movie is timeless for sure.
No, like
15. What we're pushing 40 years almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, like it's timeless
No,
also
it's
in the sense of
not.
like,
Oh my God,
85.
I didn't know it came out in 85.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is
Yeah.
like 96 or something.
Right.
It's
Right.
like,
No.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking 96 too, or like 97, because I think that's when I watched it for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and I just assumed that all the movies were made when I watched them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like Titanic.
85.
here.
85.
Yeah.
Yeah, and learning that Pee-wee's Playhouse ended in 1990. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? But I grew up watching that. How is that possible?
Yeah.
It's like a year before I was born.
And not many things survive that long. Like, especially things that were made for kids or TV shows and stuff. Nothing really survives that long.
Yeah, totally.
And even some of a lot of things that are still kind of there and surviving. It doesn't have the same kind of punch or oh yeah, this was not as funny.
Yeah.
But this absolutely is. I said, the second I put it on, I was laughing. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
When people pass away, you kind of especially celebrities and all, you start thinking about the influence they had on art and the people that and especially with Paul Rubens and Pee-wee, every single fucking person I know who is an artist was directly inspired by Pee-wee Herman.
Yeah.
And that is wild.
Yeah.
Well, anybody got anything to plug?
Not this time.
Not this time?
I'm gonna take a
Hold your
break.
breath?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
Okay.
break,
I guess I mentioned at the top of the show. I'll throw it out there. We'll put a link into it. But yeah, Speaking of influences, Paul Rubens influenced Luc, Javi, and a bunch of us to do a stupid kids show that I came up with. Still would like to finish one one day. But the episodes we did do are up on YouTube. We'll link it in the description on the podcast. Thanks for being here, y'all. Thanks for remembering Paul Rubens. Once again, we have been the Nostalgia Killers. I have been Chuck Starzinski.
I have been Javier Martinez.
Magalli Larque.
Taylor Diffenderfer.
Bicycle.
Oh, thanks for doing that. Cool. That was great. Loved it.
Nice.